Good morning, everybody.
Hi. Morning.
Okay, well, thank you everybody for coming. Today we are going to talk about our Stellar CMA on Moxi Present. And Moxi is in your 21 online, so I will take you through how to get there just in case you don't know how. So we're going to go up to here and go into our productivity hub. And we'll scroll down. Can you guys see this okay?
Yep.
Okay. We're going to go down to our Moxi Present and go into Moxi. And we will hit in Moxi Present to go to our presentation. The nicest thing about Moxi Present is when it's tied directly to your MLS. And so the information is live. So as soon as you set up a seller presentation, it's always easy to share and it will update itself, which is really nice. Once you're in Moxi Present, you want to hit Create New. Today we're going to do a seller CMA, so I'll hit Seller and Continue. And this screen is where we pick our template. And you can create your own templates, and I'm going to show you how to do that later. In mine, I have some created. As you can see, I have one that's 47 pages, one that's 15 pages. And for the purpose of our demonstration, I'm going to go where you guys probably will see yours. And I'm going to go into the Century 21 parent company templates. As you can see in here, we have all different types of presentations that we can do for our sellers. There's a Spanish version, there's a Century 21 Fine Homes in the States, there's commercial, and this is the one I'll choose today, the residential listing. And hit Continue. Here's where you're going to name it. So I'm going to name this Johnson CMA. You want to choose the MLS that you want to use. And today I'm going to be using the RMLS, which is my primary. And if you do the pull down menu, if you're overlapping a lot of dual agents or overlapping areas like Vancouver, we have two different types of MLSs. So you choose the one that you need. And if you are dual license, you might have 2 offices or 3. And you can choose the office right here. Also, it will let you choose the type of square footage that it uses its key stats with. And it's either total or total finish. So I'm going to do the total finish because I know our RMLS. And I'm going to hit Create. That a minute and it will populate. Now, before you start a CMA, you're going to want to gather your information, and you want to get that information from either a previous listing, the tax records, or the information that you've gathered from the seller. But I would have all of those if you could get them. Have those handy so that you can fill this out. This is a nice option that you can do. You can add, say you did have a previous listing in there in the RMLS and you wanted just to have it populate the information for you. You can do that. Today I'm going to be doing a listing that I'm currently marketing on 46th Street. And so I'm going to go ahead and copy that in. If you don't have it, you're going to just enter in the information here in the subject property information. But I want to show you how this works. So I'll hit copy. And it's going to take that MLS number and populate all the information in here, which is really nice. I'm gonna go through and you'll see you enter the location, the community information. It has the schools, and a lot of times people search by that, so I would highly recommend that you put it in that way. And family, single family home. This is not a 4-bedroom, it's a 3-bedroom, so I'm going to change that. And it has square footage and the lot size right here already populated in. And if you didn't have that, obviously you would be entering that in from the information that you have. Your bill, the tax amount, this is actually, I know that it's 4205 for 2023, so I'm going to put that in there. Parcel number. The more information that you put in, the better your comps are going to show up for you in the next portion. So make sure you fill it out as best you can. And some of the things won't populate, and some of them you might not even want to put in there because you don't want, sometimes, you know, less is more. So you want to put in, you don't want to put in every single thing because you don't want to miss out on some comps that could very well be beneficial to your report. In the remarks section, when you've pre-qualified your seller, you would have talked to them about the stuff that was important to them. And you might want to include that here. Like if they are very proud about their custom paint that they had done just a few weeks ago, you might want to put that in the remarks so they know that you're paying attention. I'm going to remove this information because I've done this enough time to know that if I leave that in there, it's going to put that in the price at the end. So if you do use this for CMA purposes, you want to make sure you remove that before you continue. And a lot of times we're just going to enter in this information instead of auto-populate it from the MLS. But I have quite a few things I want to show you today, so I did that to save some time. So you enter all that information in, and then you'll hit continue. And this search screen is map-based. So as it's generating the information here, it just takes a few moments. It will put in the comparable cells in your map. It's just taking a minute. There we go. So you have the ability to do the map, and I'll scroll this a little bit so I can show you. You can zoom out to get more. Say you're on acreage, so you might want to do that sometimes. Or say you got a lot like this one, you want to zoom in a little. And that's how you can do that. You can also draw. So I can draw a radius around my subject property, and a lot of us are used to doing that in our searches on the RMLS. So I'll go ahead and show you how that works. And then once you get the circle drawn, you hit run search. Okay, then we go, if you wanted to do it by MLS number, say you already did a CMA and you just want to make the presentation, you can enter the MLS numbers right here from your report that you did on the RMLS or the Northwest MLS or the Idaho MLS, whichever one you're using. If you would like to put in a price range, you can do that right here. I'm not going to do that because I think the criteria brought up some really good comps. I'm already seeing that right here. You can put in the number of beds and baths. And then you can also filter. And this is important because a lot of them, this is going by my last search, so it's already put to single family, but sometimes I go in here and I'll see it's marked condo or land. You want to make sure you have the right property type in there. You don't want to be comparing your detached single family home to a condo. Then you look down through here and make sure that it's got good information. I like the square footage. This is probably a little bit too big of a lot for this house, but it jumps from there to there. So if it was 11, I might miss it. So I'll go ahead and leave that. The year built is something that I normally put in. So I'll do that. I'll say this is a 1980 house. So I'll put a 1970 to a 1990. You can put in the MLS area if you want. I'm going to exclude that because I drew a map. And any other thing that you want to add to it. To me, it's really important to put a 1-story ranch because I don't want to compare it to a 2-story or a tri-level or something like that. So I'll put that in and I'll hit apply. You can also sort it by distance or price. Any of these items. I think distance is a really good one because I like the map feature. So I'm going to leave it where it is. Now we're going to choose our comparables. And you do that, you might want to take a look at the property to see if it really fits the criteria. I'm going to hit details. And then I'm going to get a lot more information here, as you can see. I can look at the photos and the information about the property. And then I can decide whether or not I want to include it in my CMA. So I'm looking at this one. It's very similar to my property. So I think I'm going to include it. You can either click it, include listing right there, or once you've decided, you can also click the plus button right here. So far I've got 2. If I had some active listings, I would want to include it. This is the current listing, so I don't want to include that. Also, when you belong to 2 listing 2 MLSs, you may have duplicates, so be careful not to add the same listing twice. I'm going to add a couple more, so we have a few in here. And then I will continue to the next page. Does anybody have any questions so far? Just speak up if you do.
Looking good.
So here we are on the listings page, and this is going to be how our comparables are going to be listed on our presentation. And it has some cool features here. So you can make any adjustments that you want to here. So if there was one that is pending, you might open the remarks and type that in here so that they realize that this is the pending price. I don't have a pending one here, but what I would type to my client is, this one is pending, so we don't know what it's going to, what the close price is yet. But I wanted you to see the days on market. This one was priced very well and it was only 4 days on market. These are kind of things that you want to teach your client, is how the days on market will, help them price their house so that it will be sold right away instead of sitting on the market for a long time. So you can put any remark in here, or you could put something on this sold, like this home is the most like yours. Your home, or not most like yours, is your home. And so that they know that, so you can bring it up later. You can put all sorts of different things. You could take out the remarks that come with the listing. I think I'll just go ahead and leave that. You can make adjustments, and typically we don't like to do that too much because we're not appraisers. And we want to leave that to them to make adjustments. So you just try to get the ones that are the closest to yours. It looks to me like I don't have enough listings. So I'm going to go back to my search. And for some reason, one of mine didn't add. So I'm just going to go back here and add it. I want to add the sorrel right here. And as you can see, you can kind of take a look at these if you want to by clicking on them. All right, so I'm going to go back to my listings page. Also on this page, you can add a custom listing. And if you want to do that, you go ahead and click right here. And it's a lot like the property profile page. You would just add in the information. And this would be good if your seller had mentioned my neighbor's house sold and they got this amount of money for it. And you just want to include something that you know that would be beneficial. You can enter all that information in here. You can enter the MLS number, or you can enter it manually right here. I'm just going to go back to the listings. I'm not going to add a custom page. So I'm just going to leave it right here, but you can also edit the order that they're going to show up on your presentation. So if you wanted the sold first, you could just pop it up there. I happen to like it going active, pending, and sold. So I'm going to keep that and save. You can also sort by high to low, low to high. I prefer the low to high, so I will change it to that. Once you've got that dialed in the way you want to, you're going to hit continue. And this is the estimate page. So it's going to give you an estimated value based on the information that you have so far in there on the houses that you've chosen. I don't like to give just one price. I like to always have a range. So I'm going to click on the create range button here. And if you know what range you want, you can go ahead and put that in right here. Or even better, you can choose a percentage up or down. So I'm going to say 3% below and 3% above that. And I'm going to hit apply. Oops, calculate, I'm sorry. And I like that, so I'm going to go ahead and hit apply. So you've got that. Also, there's a place to put in the remarks. And you could write something like this. Hi, John. This is the range my data came up with. Obviously, I will need to see the home on Saturday. And we will discuss price. So that they know if you haven't been to the property yet, because a lot of times we do this stuff ahead of time and send it to them before we get there. And if you have that information there, it might put their mind at ease that you're not pricing their home too low before you get a chance to see it or talk to them. So you got that. Here's the stats over here. It'll show you what the average price is, where we got that range. The price per square foot of the subject property, and the price based on square footage of the property is this. So here's the summary. We don't have any actives or pending, which is kind of normal in our market right now. There isn't a lot. We have a really bad problem with low inventory right now. But you might have some of those, and if I had a lot of time, I probably would go back and try to find some of those to put in there. I might expand my circle or maybe my square footage a little, something so that I can get some of those. And the nice thing is if I come back here tomorrow and there is a new listing, it will show up and I'll be able to add it. So I'll hit, before I do that, I would like to show you this. Estimated net proceeds. Everybody wants to know what the final number is gonna be, so we'll go ahead and do that for our seller. Ahead of time, I have prepared a net sheet, and you can get a net sheet either from your escrow officer or one of the programs that the title rep has given you to use to estimate the closing costs. And for Washington, I did this one in Vancouver, so I'll have to have excise tax, commission, escrow, title fees, so I'll go ahead and plug those in. So I'm gonna say this house is gonna sell for 485. No, what did I do? This one I'm gonna do for 450 because I already did it. It doesn't match my scenario here, but I want to show you just for purpose of how to fill out a net sheet. So that it's more, so their mortgage is, I already know because I asked them, is 160,000. If they have a second mortgage, you can put it in here. I'm gonna put a 3.25% for the listing side and a 2.25 for the selling office side. You can put whatever you want in there, 2.5, 2.5. That's really a good one too. The escrow fee I have in here is $900. And title insurance, I have $1,605. The annual taxes on the property, I already have it, is $4,205. And I have the excise tax calculated here as $7,205. And that's 1.6%. Kind of nice how that fills in for us. And if there's any other fees, usually you're going to have a custom, I'm going to go ahead and put recording fee. And that would be around $380. Sometimes it makes it easier for your client if you lump them together because there's reconveyance fee, there's sales tax on escrow. There's all sorts of fees that go in there and they get a lot of times get confused. So if you can combine those a little bit and just let them know this is an estimate. Okay. And a lot of times you want to do more than one, so you can add several pages to this. And so they can compare the different ones. I usually throw in a couple different ones. I go on the high, the middle, and the low for them. So, up there, and then hit continue. Here we are at the pages. And in here we can move things around a lot. So you can put the listing averages up here. You just very easily grab it and drop it around there. Also, you can take pages out, and that's what I was going to show you here too. So I'll start with that. There is so many pages in here. I don't like this many pages, so I'm going to take out the ones that I don't use. And you can preview them by clicking on them. So here's your cover page. The property summary has got the photo in it. Now I'm going to go back here real quick and show you. When I put in the MLS number, the listing photo automatically came in, but you can upload it right here yourself. There'll be an upload button. So you can browse, grab it and put it in there. Just go back on that a little bit. There'll be a map, which I think is good to have in here. Listing averages, I think I'll keep that. The listing overview, side-by-side comparison, days on market. I'm going to delete that. I don't like graph. I like days on market, but I just don't like these graphs and the way they look on the presentation. And I know that because I've used it several times. We got our pricing analysis. Of course, we want to keep that. The net proceeds. Here you go. So it has the selling price and the net proceeds for them. Agent profile, which I would highly recommend that you add that. And then we have a checklist. Now you got to pay attention to this. If this is not something that you're going to do, you need to delete it out of there. Selling your home. I like this one. I'm going to keep that in there. My proposal on how to work, how I will work with you. There's things in there that I'm not going to do, so I'm going to take that out. A lot of this is fluff, and I think it's just too much stuff, so I'll probably just take it out. About us, you might want to leave that in about Century 21 and the Century 21 system. So what you can expect. I'm going to take out the Easter seals. Like I said, a lot of this, you can't see it because I'm scrolling up and down, but as you go through here, you're going to want to pick out things that you like and what you don't like. I know that this 121, I've seen that 100 times. I know I don't want that. It's just a big picture of 121. And so I don't need that. And your marketing plan, this is something that you could look at. And if you don't like what you see here, and you don't do all these things because you're not going to hold an open house or you're not going to advertise in the newspaper, you want to delete this, but make one of your own. Use this for a guide to make something of your own, to make it your marketing plan. About us, I'm just going to take out some of the things. How to start. And you go through and you take out some of the things. If you know they're not going to buy another house, you might want to take out the relocation. They're going to go rent, or they're going on a 2-year vacation, whatever. Just take out the things that you like. There's a thank you at the end. I always like to keep that in there. But before we finish this up, I want to show you something really cool that I learned to do. And that is adding a custom page. Century 21 has made this so that we can customize a page with a video, maps, whatever you want to do. So I wanted to show you how to do that today. So we're going to add a page and we're going to create new. And I'm going to build a page. I'm going to go ahead and use this one that's highlighted because I'm going to add some words here. I'm going to add a video and I'm going to add a map. So I'll show you how I do that. It's really pretty easy. As you see, there's a little icon here that says you want to add some text. So I'm going to add the text in here. So I type in what I want and I can format this to make it larger. So I'll do that. I will change the color and make it green. Oh, I have to highlight it back. And there's all sorts of different things. You can change how high it is. You can change everything about it right here. And I'll keep it like that. You can center it. There we go. Next, I'll show you how to add a video. And this is really cool because I know a lot of people are making videos now on their own YouTube channels. And we can do this right here if you wanted to just say a little bit about yourself, or if you wanted to talk about Century 21, I'm going to show you how to do that. So you click on the video icon, and then it's asking you for a URL from YouTube. So I'm going to go over and go to my YouTube channel that I have. Let's see here. I'm going to try to put this up here so you guys can see it. Can you see the YouTube channel?
There you go. Thank you.
Mhm.
You guys see that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna click on this one because this is the one I want to add. I like this Century 21 video. And you hit the share button. You copy it. You go back to Moxi Present and you just paste that in and add it. There's your video.
Nice.
It's so cool. And it could be any video. I have a video that I have that introduces myself and just a little bit about me. I could put that there. Or you could, if you're promoting a listing, you could talk about the neighborhood or that part of the city. And you could add any kind of video you want there. The other thing is you can add in a map so people can scroll around and look in a map. And we can do that by, I'm going to grab my map thing that I have open over here and pull it in. Put that right here. I'm assuming you can see my map now.
Mhm.
Okay, so this is really a cool thing. So you're gonna hit, I've got my address of my property there. You could put whatever you want. You could have downtown Vancouver waterfront. You could do whatever you want to. And then you hit the share button right here. And instead of sharing a link on this one, we're gonna embed it. So you hit on that tab and embed and then copy HTML. Go back to your Moxi. And in this one, for the map, we're going to hit on the more button. And remember, we saw this a little bit in the top. What we want to do is hit source. And that's where we're going to embed it right there. So you paste that in there and hit OK. And there it is. It says iframe. And so in order to make sure that that works, I'm going to hit save. I'm going to save this. We're going to name this page. I'm going to name it 46th Street CMA. And my description is going to be D21 video and map. And that's what I'm going to call it there. And this is going to be in my pages. So I'll save it there. And then I'm going to go back. I'm going to click on this X and it takes me back to my pages. And I'm going to add that in there. Oh, it already did. So, and if you wanted to say you already had this made, I want to just do this for the purpose of demonstration. I'm going to go like this and I'm going to, I want it to be here. So I would put add page from my library and my pages. And this is my 4th Street CMA, so it's already there. So I don't need to add it, but I can add a different one. I'm going to add the Vancouver neighborhood, just so you can see, added. There. And then I'm going to go back to my pages. So see, there's Vancouver neighborhood. Right there. I did this earlier, so it looks the same as the one I just did, but that's down below. And if I want to move it around, obviously I can do that. Now, if I want to check to make sure that that worked, I can just go to View, Web. And it's going to show me what I've done so far. So I'm going to scroll down to look at that. Here's the cover page. Property information. And there's the map. It showed up. So people can look around and what's near it. That's pretty cool. And they can look at the video. So we know that that works. All right, one last thing on this is that we might want to print it. Some of our clients don't want to use the internet, so we might want to print it. And if you have this page in there, it's not going to look very good when you print it. So we're going to go back and change that so that it looks good in a print. So we're going to go back to, I'm going to just go to my pages real quickly. And go to my library. So this is the 4th Street CMA. That's the one I just created. And I'm going to edit it. I already have the web view, but now I have I can go to the print or portrait view. See this at the top. And to save time, which we all like to do, I'm going to copy it in from the web. So see, there's that. Well, this is not going to show up in a print very well. So I'm going to go ahead and remove that out of there. I can either add in a photo or type in some text there if I want to about the neighborhood. I'm just going to go ahead and add an image. I'm going to add this photo right here. It's not that house, but it will pretend it is. And that is how it'll show up in print now. So I'm going to go ahead and save that. So every time I go into this presentation, go back to it. Every time I go back to this presentation, if I'm sending it as a video, it'll show up with a video page, with a web page. Or if I'm sending it as, you know, on a web, it'll show up with a video. If I print it, it'll automatically change to the print view and show that page as a print view. Whoops, I always do that. So I'm going to go back and show you how to finish up. So you have everything finished, you have everything in the order that you want. You viewed it, you made sure it looks exactly how you want it to look, and now you want to send it. So you hit the send button. Pretty easy. You can send it both as a presentation and as a PDF. So they can look at it online. If they have it on their phone, it will show up and look good on their phone or their computer or their tablet. It'll look good wherever they look at it. Or you might want to send it that way with a PDF or not. But you have your options here. Anything that you have in Engage will come up here as you start to type it. So say I want to send this to all my realtor friends. I have a label in my Moxi that says realtor from my group. So I can click that and I will be sending it to every realtor in my group. Or I can just put my client's name in there and send it to them. You're gonna put in a title, greeting, your message. Thank you for this opportunity. 2 or 50. And then you can have a copy sent to yourself and you just hit send and you're done. That would conclude my presentation. Does anybody have any questions or any ideas that they'd like to share?
I like it. And it's just a lot easier because it's connected with the multiple listing and oh my gosh.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'd like to see the 15-page one.
Okay. Templates? Oh, I'm glad that you said that because I forgot to show you something at the very end. And before I show you that, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to save a template. So you go through this and you do all that work, right? You're on your pages. You've sent it and you're like, you know, I don't want to do that again. I don't want to go through all those pages again. So at the very bottom of here, you can save your template. And I was going to show you my 15-page template that I have because sometimes a past client calls me and says, I want you to come out and list my house for some reason or another. And so I know I've got the listing because I have that relationship. I don't need to send them everything about Century 21 and I don't need to do all that. So you just hit the save and you put it wherever you want to. And I'm not gonna add this to mine because I don't want it in my template. I just have to delete it, but that's how easy it is. I wanted to show you guys. Now I'll go show you my 15 page and why I chose it. Okay, so create new seller, continue, my templates. I call it the CMA, so I have 15 pages, but I call it CMA with net and market factor. And that's all I need sometimes. So I'll hit continue. And it's prepared for past client and create. This takes a minute. So you already know you'd enter all those other things across here, but here's what it is. And I will show you. I'm gonna do the print since I haven't pulled that up for you guys yet. I think it just takes a minute. Do it this way. So I have, and I want to do the PDF. Hang tight. Okay. So there's my first page. Oh, it only does the first page. Hold on. I only printed to page 1. It's generating the PDF. It takes a minute. So this is what I have for my 15 pages. I have my branded cover page, my side-by-side comparisons. There's no property yet, so you can't see it. Listing averages, pricing analysis, net proceeds, my profile, my promise to you, determining the market, factors that influence. These are the things I handpick. How to price to sell. I like this one. I brought this over from my old CMA stuff. Planning your move. This is helpful to people.
Mm-hmm.
Checklist during your move. I feel like this is helpful. Key market factors and a thank you. That's my short version of the CMA.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Nice.
Any other requests or questions?
It looks great.
Okay. Well, I think at this point in time, we're going to stop the recording.